Isaac, great to see you. Welcome to Pop Alternative.
Good to see you too. Thanks for having me, buddy.
It's good to see you, and we're going to talk about a lot of stuff, but specifically season 4 of Shoresy on Craven Hulu. You're joining for season 4. Cool little off-season storyline that you're kind of
Yeah,
involved with. Now, listen, a lot of people on this show have played hockey. I've played professional hockey, semi-professional hockey. There
yeah,
were prerequisites, I believe, with auditions, but you know, were an actor that auditioned for this. Like, what
yeah,
was your background of hockey before this? Did you have to like show that you could play hockey? Like, I'm just curious about that for
yeah,
your audition.
yeah. So for the audition, they said, oh, like if you have hockey experience, that's a bonus, and just let us know at the end of your audition. And so I was psyched. I was psyched for auditioning for the part because I've played hockey my whole life. I think I got up to the level of like double B rep.
Okay.
And so like it wasn't like crazy good hockey, but it was like
Yep.
it was better than house league, right? So I had a good background in that, and so yeah, at the end they asked me to send them a video to kind of show me playing hockey, so they have an idea of everything,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't a complete must, even though they love the authenticity, which is why the show's absolutely unbelievable, is because of how authentic it is, right? It wasn't a must. Like take Eric Fleesing, the goalie that plays the goalie of the four of us. He knew how to skate, but he didn't have any hockey experience before. But
Yeah.
it still worked out because they have like stunt doubles and stuff like that.
Yeah, because it was always interesting because you have Chase, who's like literally plays for the
Yeah,
Sudbury Wolves, and like,
yeah, insane. He's a fucking awesome player, man. I love watching him play because when we're down in Sudbury filming, we
yeah.
always watch his games and stuff, and it's a good time. I think every single game I've gone to see him play in
Mhm.
Sudbury. He scored a goal. I don't know.
Yeah, amazing. And I find it interesting, right? Because like we meet you guys briefly and you are on the ice and you're in your gear, you're like on the bench, and then we see you guys like in the dressing rooms and everything.
Yeah.
Does the hockey stuff feel like its own show specifically compared to like a lot of those like scenes where you're not at the rink, or does it all feel like it's Shoresy when you film it?
Um, that's a good question. Um, I feel like it feels like the same show, but if you the days we go to film hockey stuff
Yep.
compared to the days where we go to just do scenes with just the lines,
Yep.
they feel like different, like totally separate things,
Yep.
and within the different styles of how they film it, and also filming stuff on ice is new for me. I've never been in a show that's done it before, so
Mhm.
it does feel different than my usual element, just being in front of the camera saying my lines.
Yeah.
So yeah, it does feel different, but still the same show because the vibe's still there of Shoresy.
It's interesting too because I feel like sports movies or shows are always interesting
Mhm.
because for the most part you could look at them as like this is a show about hockey that is a comedy, right? Or you could be like this is a comedy movie that has football in it, right? Like
Right.
but like this is like a hockey show. And
Yeah.
I'm wondering if like that was evident from you like reading the first kind of scripts even like when like maybe like I know a lot of people have like previously auditioned for past seasons too, but it's like was it evident to you that like you're not like on a show like Letterkenny has hockey like in it, right?
Yeah.
But I wouldn't
Yeah.
say Letterkenny's a hockey show.
Yeah. No,
But this is a
100%.
hockey show.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the beauty of Jared's writing, though.
Yep.
It's like he makes it look feel so natural within the script,
Yep.
where he puts hockey first, but just the way he writes it is just so fucking funny
Yeah.
that it just blends so well together, and it also makes sense together. Like the jokes that he puts in, it makes sense with hockey because
Yeah.
he's a hockey guy. He knows the lingo and all like that. Where there's some like other shows, they might not be written by a guy who really knows hockey, and so
Yep.
you can kind of like see the difference. You can feel the difference of, okay, it doesn't really like fit perfectly together, but he writes it in a way that just it fits and it feels like all
Yeah,
one.
100%. We'll get back to Shores. You just want to talk about a few other projects for you that you've done. How separate are past projects compared to something like Shoresy? Like, do you bring mindsets or preparations from past things to something like Shoresy? They're completely separate once you wrap them.
Um, I think I keep them separate, but I always I feel like it depends what's in the script.
Yeah.
Because if I can relate something and use something from something that past that I've done, I will kind of pull from that and use it as like an idea that I keep in my head while I'm doing the scene.
Yep.
But usually I kind of keep it separate because looking at the past projects I've done, they've all kind of been really, really different. Like going from like a kid's show on Odd Squad to something really deep on Luckiest Girl Alive to slapstick.
Oh my God, you're bringing up things that I was going to bring up. Absolutely. Yeah.
So it's all been so different. So I haven't really had that opportunity where I can like kind of look back at those other projects and pull them in.
Yeah, so like I actually do have like a specific Odd Squad question and a Luckiest Girl Live question. We got the Odd Squad. It's interesting, right? Because you were a kid, and I feel like that was one of your first projects, Odd Squad, from an acting perspective. And I'm wondering what it was like, if you can kind of recollect, in regards to like a lot of those shows, those kid shows. I'm sure if you ask Anna Caulfield the same thing. I mean, you could see it as like stepping stone, right? Like, or a lot of people that go on Nickelodeon or Disney Channel, it's like to learn, right? And then they could take things they learn. Or some people see it as like, you know, I'm a 12-year-old, I'm working. This is my job. You know what I mean? Like, what did it feel like for Odd Squad? Did you feel like it was a stepping stone, or did you feel like I'm ready to work? Like I'm here to work, so to speak.
I definitely the stepping stone, because I was so new to the industry.
Yeah.
And I barely knew anything. Like they were teaching us like stuff about contract and what a thing is, how to read a pair of sides.
Yeah.
And so I learned so much from that show, and everyone was so patient, which I really appreciate. And I think Anna was the same way. Like it was one of her first really big projects. And so both of us were just huge learning curve for us. We got the ins with the industry and learned how to go about each day and what to focus on. And it really helped. It really helped me kind of get a grasp for what I'm supposed to be doing and who to collaborate with in certain with certain stuff. But I definitely did not have the mentality of like, this is my job, like, because it was so new that it kind of felt like school in a way. You know what I mean? Like I was back at school, and
I'm sure you did have school during filming.
Tutoring.
That's all, tutoring, absolutely.
Our tutor on that show was awesome. But
that show sometimes in Canada was like on BBC Kids sometimes too, I think.
Yeah,
it was crazy. Or like TVO Kids, or like one of those. But it was it's crazy to think that you were like part of like the after school programming for a lot of kids, right?
Yeah, help kids learn math.
Absolutely. Luckiest Girl Alive, shot in Toronto. Netflix released Mila Kunis, Chiara Aurelia. Not an easy watch. Your character not easy to play at all. Can you even prepare for something like that? And like obviously you get the sides and you know what character you're gonna play, but it's just like, how do you prepare yourself for something that is gonna be difficult for, you know, the viewers to watch, but it might be difficult for you as a person as well, as a storyteller? It's difficult. Like, what was that like for you?
It was a tough character to like. Reading what happened in that script is such a deep script, and it's personal to the writer as well. And so I think that the hardest thing that hit me hard was trying to, while knowing what my character does and how like terrible it is, but also trying to create a character out of that, right? Like I still play a guy, I still play Liam, and he's still a person, so I still have to like think that's me, and I can't just hate the character, right? I still gotta get in the mindset of like, I don't think I did anything that wrong. Like I didn't like that was the toughest part, is trying to get in character where I don't think what I did was wrong. And that was tough for me.
Well, I wonder if Thomas would have the same answer as you, but like both your characters, there's a flip that switches, right? Where we see you in the beginning of the movie, and then you're completely different people at the end of the movie. Did you guys talk about it at all? Because there was a lot of like, both your characters were kind of in the same boat of the storyline and what happens and the motives, whereas everyone else was not there. So like, did you guys have conversations about that specifically?
Not really.
Okay.
It was a really deep movie. So I feel like we kind of like once we're off set, we kind of just like split from that vibe and kind of like
Yeah.
brought up the energy a little bit and got more cheerful and kind of just leave that in the working day.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't that many conversations,
Mhm.
but there were also everybody on set was so great. Where if I did need to have a conversation or needed help with something, they would be there for me, which was
Mhm.
awesome. And yeah, I think the only type of conversations we had was like just checking in on each other, like while doing the dirty scenes. It was just making sure everyone's all right and kind of going step by step and taking it slow and make sure everybody's ready for
Yeah.
that.
No, absolutely. Um, I feel well. I mean, you can answer that. I love you to answer this with like all your projects because I feel like my question now, like, there's all the projects that you've been on, whether they're like action-packed scenes or not, or like even big drama. This happens on all your projects, but you'll be on a set, right, Isaac, for like 3 weeks, let's say, and there might be like 1 or 2 days where you're just working on like one specific scene just for 1 or 2 days, right? And I'm wondering when that happens, does that feel like that, like 1 or 2 days of one scene? Does that feel like its own mini movie or mini TV show, or does it feel like it's a big part of like the whole project? Because I do find that interesting. Because I'm a filmmaker too, and I find that interesting.
Yeah, I'd say it doesn't seem like its own like movie separate, but I can see I put the word of like mini project
Yeah.
within the project. And so like you go into those days oh my gosh, I just lost my train of thought. You go into those days uh prepping for those few days,
Yeah.
and when it's all over you're kind of like, okay, back to what we normally do.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of prep that goes into that, and mindset changes, and kind of like just sitting at night before you're going to shoot and just locking in and trying to think of everything within that scene, so you're ready for it.
It absolutely. How has the reception been on your end since Shoresy has been out? Has there been any situations where you've been recognized? Obviously, it's been probably crazy online because the fans love it, and it's part
Yeah,
of the Letterkenny universe. How's the reception been so far for you?
it's been sick. I noticed it a lot on my Instagram. I haven't really been recognized in public that much. I've here and there, like I went to the gym the one time, and a guy asked if I was part of Shoresy, and he's like, "Oh, that's sick." Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
It's more like my friends, they love Shoresy, so they're super hyped that I'm on the show, and they love it. And yeah, but more it was more just the Instagram, people commenting funny things, and give your balls a tug, and
Absolutely.
yeah,
I just love the like have
the cool
has there been
family.
any situations where like well I know there's that whole scene but like the whole like the thing that kills me is when like Jared does the whole like that thing because you never know when it's gonna happen, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like that might be hard too,
yeah,
right? Where like you know what to expect but you don't because that might
yeah.
happen too, right? Like from an acting
Bro,
perspective.
bro, I learned a lot on that set, like, because the whole it's like a different realm.
Yeah.
Like the pace of the scenes is so fast that like you have to adjust,
Yeah.
especially something coming from the outside. And so I adjusted so much to being ready for if he throws anything at you, you got to
Mhm.
be ready and on your feet to be able to take that, improvise a little bit, and then also reel it back into where the dialogue is.
Yeah.
I,
Um
sorry, you go.
no, 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 no. Go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just gonna say just the pace of how fast the dialogue is and how you're basically like stomping on each other's lines.
Yeah.
It's something to get used to, but once you did, it was nice.
Do you also think about like going behind the camera and doing writing, directing, producing when you're on a show like that? Does that inspire you to see kind of like the big kind of, well-oiled machine it is? And like, I feel like a lot of actors right now want to be creative. They want to do a lot of things. Eric Fleising has, a film that he,
Yeah,
directed that's out now. Like, do you ever think about that at all? Like going behind the camera?
yeah, 100%. It's always been like something I've been interested in. It's just a matter of I've always like been like, okay, how do I want to approach getting into that? You know what I mean? So it's like, do I go back to film school? Do I just try to get a job right away? But at the same time, like acting is what I want to do. So do
Yeah.
I want to kind of put my time towards that and less time towards acting right now?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's always been around my mind. Eric definitely has inspired me a good amount. I've been picking his brain about the whole behind the scenes stuff, and he's been awesome with that.
Absolutely.
Giving me the insight.
For sure, man. No, absolutely. And season 4 of Shoresy is out now on Craven Canada and Hulu in the States, so they could check that out. And we know we're getting a season 5 at some point. We just gotta wait until that happens. But Isaac, so great chatting with you, man. Thanks so much for your time.
Fun. It was fun. Thank you.
Yeah. Your Instagram account is just your name, right? If people want to keep up to date with everything.
Yeah. B Isaac Kragten.
Awesome. Well, this has been Pop Turn, youtube.com/PopTurn previous episodes. Until next time, this is Isaac and Peter Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.